The Stoic Guide to Emotional Mastery. Finding calm in a chaotic world. Understanding the Stoic view of emotion. Emotions can feel like storms, sudden, overwhelming, uncontrollable. But what if they aren't? What if emotions, even fear, anger, sadness, are not enemies to suppress, but signals to understand? What if they're not obstacles to peace, but the very path to it? The ancient Stoics, Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, Epictetus, lived in a chaotic world. Wars, plagues, exile, betrayal, death. And yet, they wrote about calm, equanimity, and freedom of mind. How? By learning to master emotion, not by avoiding it, but by understanding it deeply. What are emotions to the Stoics? The Stoics did not see emotions as bad. They saw unexamined emotions, reactions fueled by false beliefs, as the problem. Epictetus wrote, "It is not things themselves that disturb us, but our judgments about them." In other words, it's not the event, but the meaning we attach to it. Someone cuts you off in traffic. Your mind tells you, "They disrespected me." Emotion arises. Anger. But what if the event meant nothing? What if your reaction was optional? To the Stoics, emotions are like messengers, carrying news from your mind to your body. Understand the message, and you gain power over the storm. The Stoics made a distinction we've largely lost today. Emotion, pathos, the raw sensation of a feeling. Natural, temporary. Passion, passio, when emotion turns into obsession, attachment, or impulse. The first is normal. The second is what causes suffering. For example, feeling fear when a danger arises? Normal. Letting fear drive your choices for years? That's passion. Stoic practice isn't about becoming emotionless. It's about staying in command, not being commanded by what you feel. As Seneca put it, "A wise man feels his troubles, but does not collapse under them." Emotions are not the enemy. In the modern world, we're taught to suppress emotions to appear strong, or indulge them to feel authentic. The Stoics chose a third path, discipline, to feel anger, and not act on it until you understand it, to feel fear, and walk forward anyway, to feel sadness, and honor it without letting it define you. This is emotional mastery, not by control, but by clarity. The feedback loop, thought, emotion, action. The Stoics understood the cycle of the human mind. Thought, "I've lost something important." Emotion, grief or fear arises. Action, withdrawal, anxiety, panic. But what if the thought was flawed? "I've lost something temporary. Nothing truly mine can be taken from me. What is fatefully given is fatefully removed." New thoughts lead to new emotions and new outcomes. Reframe the thought, and the emotion shifts. This is not denial. It's clarity. It's mental freedom, the ultimate Stoic goal. Emotion and the sage. The Stoics imagined an ideal person. The sage, not someone without emotion, but someone who felt deeply and acted wisely. The sage experiences fear, but does not become fear. The sage knows sadness, but is not shattered by it. The sage welcomes joy, but does not cling to it. The sage chooses their emotional state, as a sculptor chooses each stroke of the chisel. For the rest of us, the sage is a guiding star, a vision to aim at. We may never be perfect, but with practice, we become better, more aware, more grounded, more free, in a world that tells us to numb out, or to dramatize every emotion for attention. The Stoics offer a path of simplicity, of stillness, of quiet power, not because emotions are wrong, but because you are more than your emotions. You are the one who watches, the one who chooses. You are the calm within the storm. Dealing with anger, anxiety, and sadness the Stoic way. The human mind is a vast terrain. In it, we meet powerful emotions, each with its own voice. Anger, anxiety, sadness. We often fight them, hide them, or worse, become them. But the Stoics taught a better way. Not escape, but engagement. Not control, but transformation. Dealing with anger. The fire within. Anger is one of the most misunderstood emotions. Some see it as weakness, others as power, but the Stoics saw it as a fire that can quickly burn the one who carries it. Seneca, in his essay on anger, warned, "No plague has cost the human race more." For the Stoics, anger is the result of expectations clashing with reality. You expect someone to act with respect. They don't. You react. But here's the Stoic question. Was your expectation reasonable? If people are flawed, why be shocked when they act accordingly? Marcus Aurelius wrote, "When you wake each morning, remind yourself, today I will meet selfish, rude, and foolish people." This isn't pessimism, it's preparation. It helps you meet others not with outrage, but understanding, not with a clenched fist, but a steady hand. The Stoic practice, delay. When anger arises, Stoics suggest a simple practice. Delay. Count to 10. Step away. Say nothing. Let the heat pass. Seneca writes, "The best remedy for anger is delay. In that pause, clarity appears. In that silence, wisdom returns. And often you realize, the thing you were about to say didn't need to be said at all." Dealing with anxiety, the fog of the future. Anxiety is the fear of what might happen, a mental rehearsal of catastrophe. But the Stoics remind us, the future is fiction. Epictetus said, "Some things are up to us, some things are not." Anxiety comes when we confuse the two, when we try to control the uncontrollable. Will I lose my job? Will they like me? Will everything fall apart? These questions have no answers, only illusions. The Stoic path? Return to what is within your control. The Stoic tool. The dichotomy of control. At the heart of Stoic practice is this core principle. What can I control? What can I? You cannot control. Other people's opinions, the economy, tomorrow's weather, life's outcomes. You can control your thoughts, your actions, your values, your response. When anxiety clouds the mind, ask, is this mine to manage? If yes, act. If no, release. This is not apathy. It is acceptance, the gateway to inner peace. Dealing with sadness, the weight of loss. Sadness is the echo of loss, a natural emotion, even for Stoics. Marcus Aurelius lost children, friends, and time itself. And yet he wrote, "Do not grieve. Nothing is lost, only returned." The Stoic way of facing sadness is not denial. It is to honor loss without being broken by it. All things are temporary. People, possessions, moments. Sadness is the soul's way of saying, "This mattered." The Stoic answer? Yes, and I am grateful it did. Navigating sorrow with purpose. When sadness arises, the Stoic does not run. They reflect. Ask, what have I lost? What remains? How can I honor this loss by how I live? Turn pain into perspective, grief into gratitude, and sorrow into strength. Summary: the 3 Stoic paths to emotional balance. The Stoic doesn't repress emotions. They reshape them. Fire when anger rises. Pause, reflect, respond with clarity. Fog when anxiety stirs. Focus only on what you control. Cloud with rain when sadness visits. Grieve with honor, but live with courage. Because every emotion is a teacher. Every disturbance is a doorway. And every moment, even the painful ones, is a chance to return to yourself. The Stoics were not superhuman. They felt pain. They knew fear. They carried sadness. But they practiced a deeper truth. That peace is not the absence of emotion. It is presence within it. The Stoic Guide to Emotional Mastery: Finding Calm in a Chaotic World. The mind, when left unchecked, becomes a battlefield. Thoughts race. Emotions flare. Clarity disappears. But the Stoics offer a compass, reason. Not cold logic. Not emotionless calculation. But reason. As the light that leads us out of inner chaos. In moments of distress, the Stoic does not ask, "How do I feel?" They ask, "What is true?" The foundation. It's not things that disturb us. Epictetus wrote, "It's not things themselves that disturb us, but our judgments about them." This is more than philosophy. It is a life-saving principle. Two people experience the same event, a delay, a breakup, a criticism. One spirals into rage. The other shrugs with calm. Why? Because interpretation creates experience. The Stoics taught us to examine the space between stimulus and response. That space is where your freedom lives. Reframing, the art of changing perspective. Reframing is a Stoic superpower. Marcus Aurelius was emperor of Rome, but also surrounded by war, sickness, and betrayal. Yet his journal, Meditations, is filled with calm reflection. Why? Because he constantly reframed reality. Instead of "this is a burden," he asked, "what if this is training?" Instead of "I've been wronged," he wrote, "what does nature demand of me in this moment?" Reframing doesn't deny reality, it reclaims it. It asks, what story am I telling myself, and is there a better one? The discipline of assent. The Stoics taught a radical practice called the discipline of assent. Here's how it works. A thought arises. You do not accept it automatically. Instead, you ask, is this true? Is this helpful? Does this serve my values? Only then, only if the answer is yes, do you assent. You allow the thought to guide you. All other thoughts, like clouds in the sky, let them drift on. Example: they disrespected me. Imagine someone insults you. The automatic thought is, they disrespected me. I must respond. But the Stoic steps back and questions, is that really true? Is their opinion mine to carry? Will anger serve me or trap me? Suddenly, the heat fades. The ego loosens its grip. A better choice emerges. This is Stoic freedom. Not in the world, but in the mind. The inner citadel. Marcus Aurelius often spoke of the inner citadel, a mental stronghold, immune to the world's chaos. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. The inner citadel is not fantasy. It's built one thought at a time, by refusing false beliefs, by choosing clarity over panic, by aligning thought with virtue. In every emotional moment, you can ask, what would a wise person think here? And with that single thought, the storm may pass. Stoic logic, the 4 questions. When the mind is unsettled, try the Stoic approach. Ask yourself these 4 guiding questions. Is this within my control? What would reason say about this? What virtue can I practice right now? What will I think about this 1 year from now? These questions cut through the fog of emotion. They return you to the present. They elevate you from reaction to reflection. Repetition builds resilience. The Stoics didn't wait for a crisis to start thinking clearly. They trained for it daily. They rehearsed adversity. They journaled their judgments. They meditated on impermanence, virtue, and control. Epictetus advised, when something happens, remember to turn to yourself and ask, what power do I have in this situation? This habit becomes armor, not to hide, but to stand tall. Emotional moments are training grounds. Every emotional moment is a test and an opportunity. Will you follow the first thought, or the truest thought? Will you be led by impulse, or guided by principle? Will you be swept away, or stand like a stone in the surf? The Stoics remind us, the world may shake, the mind may stir, but reason is the anchor. To live well is to think well. To think well is to examine our judgments, to challenge our stories, and to rise above noise with clarity. Not cold, not robotic, but steady, grounded, free. The calm you seek is already within you. You only need to learn to listen for it. Daily practices to build emotional strength and resilience. Emotional mastery is not achieved in moments of crisis. It's cultivated in moments of calm. The Stoics knew this. That's why they trained, not just in words, but in daily practice. Not to eliminate emotion, but to become stronger than the wave that carries it. Today, we explore Stoic routines that can help you become emotionally resilient, one habit at a time. Morning reflection. Start with intention. Marcus Aurelius began each day by reminding himself what to expect. He wrote, when you wake, prepare to meet interference, ingratitude, arrogance, deceit. This wasn't negative thinking. It was mental armor. When you expect life to test you, you are no longer caught off guard. You become proactive, not reactive. Practice this. Each morning ask, what might challenge me today? How will I respond with calm? What virtues will I practice? Patience, courage, discipline? Your first thoughts of the day set the tone for everything that follows. The evening review. Learn from the day. Seneca ended each day by examining his thoughts and actions. He asked, what did I do well? What could I have done better? Where did I let emotions lead me astray? This wasn't self-criticism. It was self-coaching. Each night becomes a teacher. Each mistake, a lesson. Practice this. Spend 5 minutes every evening writing. One moment of emotional strength. One moment of weakness. One thing to improve tomorrow. Over time, you sharpen your emotional awareness, like a blade refined daily. Negative visualization. Prepare, don't panic. Premeditatio malorum, the premeditation of evils. The Stoics practiced imagining loss to strengthen gratitude and readiness. Epictetus taught, remind yourself that all you love is mortal. This isn't pessimism, it's preparation. By imagining adversity before it strikes, you lessen its sting. You see that you can endure and even grow. Practice this. Each week, reflect on, what if I lost something I value? How would I survive? What inner strength would I call upon? This creates calm, not fear, because you've already mentally rehearsed resilience. Voluntary discomfort, build inner toughness. Seneca often slept on the floor, fasted, and wore rough clothes on purpose. Why? To remind himself, I can be happy with less. I can endure hardship. When we avoid all discomfort, we become emotionally fragile. But when we choose discomfort, we gain strength. Practice this. Skip a meal. Take a cold shower. Leave your phone behind for the day. Go without unnecessary comforts. Ask yourself, as Seneca did, is this what I feared? You'll find it rarely is. Virtue journaling, character over comfort. Stoics believed that emotions should serve virtue, not vice. Every decision, every reaction, was measured against these 4 principles. Wisdom, am I seeing clearly? Courage, am I acting with bravery despite fear? Justice, am I doing what's right for others? Temperance, am I showing self-control? These were not abstract ideals, they were daily goals. Practice this. At the start or end of your day, ask, which virtue did I embody today? Where did I fall short? How can I improve tomorrow? Over time, you'll measure success not by pleasure, but by principle. The view from above, see the bigger picture. Marcus Aurelius often imagined himself rising above the earth, to see his life from a distance. He wrote, how small a part of the infinite and immensity is assigned to you. When emotions overwhelm us, it's often because we forget. We are a speck in a vast cosmos. This doesn't diminish you. It frees you. Your problems feel smaller. Your mind becomes larger. Practice this. Step outside and look at the stars. Picture your life in the context of the centuries. Realize, this moment will pass like all others. With this perspective, you respond, not with panic, but with peace. Daily practice equals inner transformation. These practices are simple, but powerful. Day by day, they reshape your thoughts, your habits, your emotional responses. Epictetus said, don't explain your philosophy, embody it. You don't need to be perfect, just consistent. You don't need to control the world, just your mind. You don't need to be anyone else, just the best version of yourself, moment by moment. Emotional strength isn't gifted. It's built in how you rise each morning, in how you reflect each night, in how you meet discomfort with grace, and how you let virtue lead. The world may remain chaotic, but within, you become unshakable. And that is the Stoic way. Applying Stoicism in relationships and everyday challenges. Emotional mastery isn't just about how we handle ourselves. It's how we show up for others, especially in difficulty. The Stoics weren't reclusive monks. They were emperors, teachers, soldiers, citizens. They lived among people and practiced virtue in the real world. So how do we apply Stoicism? In relationships, at work, with strangers, and with those we love. Stoicism in relationships, leading with virtue. Stoicism is not about suppressing emotion. It's about choosing how to express it. Epictetus wrote, "You should not become attached to people as if they will be with you forever." That might sound cold, but it's a call to love with presence, not possession. When we remember the impermanence of those around us, we cherish them more. We argue less. We forgive faster. Practice this. Before reacting in anger, ask, "What would love guided by wisdom do here?" Before criticizing, ask, "Have I never made a mistake?" Before holding a grudge, ask, "What virtue can I choose instead?" Patience, kindness, justice. Handling conflict the Stoic way. Seneca said, "The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury." The Stoic doesn't mirror insult with insult. They respond with reason, not reactivity. You don't control how others act, but you control how you respond. Conflict becomes a training ground for self-restraint, empathy, emotional intelligence. Practice this. In tense moments, slow down your breath. Repeat to yourself, "This is an opportunity to train patience." Respond only after considering what virtue requires. Justice, the Stoic social compass. Justice was sacred to the Stoics. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "What is not good for the bee is not good for the hive." That means emotional mastery isn't just personal peace. It's being strong enough to help others. Courage and composure are not for self-preservation. They're for service. Practice this. Speak up when someone is mistreated. Offer calm counsel to someone struggling. Do the right thing, especially when no one's watching. That is Stoicism, alive in the world. Dealing with difficult people. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself daily, "You will meet people who are meddling, ungrateful, arrogant, deceitful." Sound familiar? But he didn't complain. He trained himself to respond with understanding. He reminded himself, "They are acting from ignorance or pain. I've been unkind before, too. They are my fellow humans, not enemies." Practice this. When someone offends you, pause and think. They are mistaken, not evil. Don't take it personally. Practice compassion, not because they deserve it, but because you deserve peace. Stoicism at home, with family and loved ones. The Stoics didn't separate philosophy from the personal. Seneca wrote letters of deep affection. Marcus Aurelius grieved for his children with grace and dignity. Stoicism doesn't mean being emotionally distant. It means being emotionally stable, so others feel safe around you. Practice this. Be fully present. Listen more than you speak. Led by calm example, not command. Your presence becomes an anchor. Your consistency becomes comfort. Stoicism at work, composure in chaos. In the workplace, emotions run high. Deadlines, disagreements, pressure. But the Stoic is steady. They don't gossip. They don't blame. They focus on what they can control: effort, attitude, ethics. Practice this. Start the workday with intention. Today, I will be useful and fair. When things go wrong, ask, "What's in my power?" Let results come as they may. Be proud of your character, not your outcome. And when it's time to go home, leave work behind. Peace doesn't follow you. You carry it with you. Stoicism in the world, from reaction to reflection. The world is noisy. News cycles scream. Social media stirs anger and envy. The Stoic asks, "Is this helpful? Is this mine to carry? What would the wise do right now?" They choose clarity over chaos, depth over drama, silence over shouting, not because they don't care, but because they care wisely. Stoicism is for life. Emotional mastery is not a destination. It's a path, a daily decision, a quiet revolution of the mind, a life lived in alignment with reason, virtue, and peace. And most importantly, a gift you offer to others by first giving it to yourself. The Stoics didn't promise a life without pain, but they offered something far greater: the ability to remain free, no matter what comes. In your mind, in your choices, in your heart. That is emotional mastery. And that is the Stoic way. Thanks for watching. Feel free to like this video, share it, and subscribe to our channel if you haven't already done so.